There's probably an advertisement coming up first, so I'm going to pull up my thing here so they probably can't see us just yet.
Cool.
Ugh. Oh my gosh. Hyper RPG. No. I think it's going now.
Yeah, we're live.
Can you see it? Because I can't.
Yes, sir. I've never seen such a handsome man as yourself.
Dude, look at you. You got look. You know what? Like all of this is done very much right by you, man. You look fantastic and rested and fit, dude. You look very fit. So.
We got Judge Christian with us, so we're good.
Oh yeah, cool. Hey, welcome. Hey, fantastic. Thank you all for tuning in to our AMA. Feel free to go ahead and ask us absolutely anything, and I'm super excited to have one of my absolute favorite humans in the whole world here, Harley Stroh. Just one of the great people, and one of my favorite, and my actual favorite GM of all time. So it's I'm super excited to have you here. It's wonderful to be here. It's certainly a thrill. And let me start off with the AMA thing, saying, are you getting any skating in?
Oh, why, thank you. Yes, I am, in fact. No, not that anybody else is interested in this, but we have friends that they built a half pipe. So they have a cabin way up in the hills, and they built a half pipe, and I broke my board on it, and it was a heel flip to rock to fakie, right? So board flipped. I came down to the rock and fakie back, to roll back in. I snapped the board, and so we screwed it into an aspen tree up there because as long as you don't constrict the tree, it won't hurt it terribly much.
Yeah.
So somewhere up in the Rocky Mountains, there's a secret hidden half pipe out in the woods with my shattered board with DCC stickers screwed into an aspen tree that's going to grow.
That is an artifact for future generations that are trying to figure it out. There's a question here.
I have this stolen sign that says skate park closed for season, and I'm really excited to bring it up there and screw it into another tree. All right. Okay. So let's go.
We got a question from the things. Judge Christian asks, did you guys collaborate on Neon Knight's collection to Purple Planet? So I will tell the quick version of that story is I was running Purple Planet at a convention. I'm describing the world where they all got sent to. And one of the guys went, oh my God, we're on the Purple Planet. And I was like, yes, you are. And I had just read the whole thing like literally on the ride up there. So I was like really had it in my head. And I actually changed out my normal monsters for Kith just then. I'm like, yeah, did I mention their Kith? The humanoids, they have mohawks. Oh, it's the Kith. I'm like, yeah, that's what's happening. So I did that, and they had so much fun with it that I went ahead and asked Harley, like, hey, Harley, can I please maybe say this is part of the Neon Knights? And he was super cool. So super cool about it. So the valley where the box set mostly takes place is on one side of the planet, and the Purple Planet, Neon Knights takes place on the other side of the planet, underneath the geosynchronous burning moon, there where House Nephilim, the weird cargo cult of the Kith, all live and hang out. So that is the answer. A player actually thought it was that, said so. I decided to fake like I was like all over it. I was not. And then I got Harley's permission retroactively after I'd run it 2-3 times that weekend. So there you go. Son of Thrain. Thorn wants to know, which one of you wants to wrestle me? I mean...
Dude, you kicked both our butts.
Yeah, I'm not having... No thanks, dude. No thanks. I don't even like wrestling.
Let's see. Okay, but here you go. If there was a contest that you had to have to go into with Thorn, what would it be?
Breakdancing. Get some.
Ooh! Dude, I all hail. All right. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Hi, Jess.
Okay, so my turn. Hold on.
Yes.
We'll alternate with people going down. Okay, so there's a holiday horror at DCC coming up. The web of all torments.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now speaking as the first writer for Goodman Games to blow out an eye, working for Goodman Games. Like Curtis is just a latecomer. How do you make DCC horrifying? Because that's the traditional problem, right?
Yeah.
As long as I see that I have 5 hit points, I'm not stressed about it.
I hear you.
Why is Web of All Torment horrifying?
Certainly. I think the Web of All Torment is horrifying because even for... It's got a couple of different elements, but one of which is, and this is kind of a big spoiler, is that the mastermind's plan, the big bad of that adventure, who is called Saint Agony, his plan has already worked. If you survive the dungeon, if you escape the dungeon, if you destroy everything in there, the point is torment. The point is broadcasting that torment out to the entire universe. So from the premises, it's not a thing you can win at. A, so that's part of it. And then B, I really did. It really was inspired by a lot of real world horror elements from horror movies and literature. My wife is an enormous horror movie fan, so we watch horror movies. We're deep into horror movie season at this point. I think we started in like June. Declared, okay, it's horror movie season. Yeah, and
the build up to Halloween, right?
Yeah, every year it gets pushed back a little further, and then we have it peaks. We have two peaks. The first peak is Chud Night. We've already had Chud Night this year. It was magnificent, and watched Chud for the 8,000th time. And then the Halloween night itself, we have a big blowout for that as well. But I think it has a lot of elements that go on and beyond like traditional horror. We have a lot of horrifying stuff in here in general, but I think that the elements of this one. It's like the point of the monsters is to horrify and terrify and almost nothing else. They're there to be awful, and the setting is there to be awful. So I hope that I hope that is the horror element to it. That there's no good of this. There's no, hey, we're trying to accomplish a thing. The point is torment. The point is evil. So
that's terrible.
I try.
Right on.
Okay, so Thorin says, I haven't seen his moves. Thorin, I'm telling you something, man. You better bring some hip in your hop. You're going to sit up with this. I'll kill you. I got cardboard. Ask up. There's actually people who might be watching right now. Evie and James Walls watched my last attempt at breakdancing. And, there's photographic evidence. I can still do it. 50 years old, still breakdancing. So, we'll see. So, okay, my turn to ask a question. I'm looking down through here. Brad says, hold my beer. Yeah. Dude, we can have a whole thing. All right, we need more questions coming up from here. So let me ask this, Harley. So if you were all watching the What's New with Goodman Games seminar that we actually just finished up a little bit ago, Harley talked a lot about DCC 100, Music of the Spheres, which I'm incredibly excited about. It looks amazing. The adventure's amazing. The art's going to be fantastic. It's really, really, really going to be good. So what is on your agenda next? What's your next writing thing that you're going to work on?
Oh my God. Okay, so so it's the Purple Planet reprint is what I'm really passionate about right now.
Nice.
So I don't know if anybody cares about this, but for fun, for when we did the box set, we did random inserts for Lithography of the Off, right? And so it was this legendary tome, and there were only random sheaves left. And so I said, Joseph, what if we put like a random sheet into every box? And so like the not because I want to sell a dozen boxes, but because it would force like players to actually talk to one another and be like, oh, I have page 1, you have page 5. Let's find somebody who has page 2, 3, 4, and then once they all do their work, that we'd be able to combine them to form the Lithography of the Off. So it's the opportunity to print all of it together, so that the players don't have to hunt, through somewhere. There's a palette of Purple Planet box sets because there's a few pages that are like consistently missing. I blame our last distributor, or I don't know, whatever that, the folks that wear it. But
I don't remember their names.
the distributors that shall not be named. But anyway, so the Lithography of the Off, I want to work in the rules for Warlords of the Purple Planet on there. So like this is my chance to like kind of like slide that in there. Like Joseph's like, well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna republish? I'm like, well, I'm just gonna write the edited rules for a war game in there, and that'll be one of our additions. Yeah, so to have all that compiled, I'm super stoked to get Purple Planet done and in the hands of people again. I just saw there's a foreign language edition that's going to be printed. we're probably not supposed to. Whatever. There is going to be a foreign language edition, and I think it's actually a box set. But it just kills me that like you'll be able to get it elsewhere, but not here. Well, not in the stateside at least. So yeah, that's what I'm stoked to be working on.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
Oh, how about yourself?
Myself, I actually, so I don't have any gaming stuff to work on right this exact minute, but last week I had an idea for some fiction. I had an idea. I woke up in the middle of the night with a fully fledged idea for a novel, like in my head. And I got up at like 1 a.m. I wrote it until dawn, and now I've been working on it, trying to work on it a little bit every day. So I'm working on fiction now. I haven't written serious fiction in a long, long time.
Nice. Are you going to submit to? Is it like Sword and Sorcery? Or are you going to submit to?
It isn't Swords and Sorcery. It's modern, and it's. I you know what's funny? I have an idea for a thing that I've been. This is what it's like to me. I have this great idea for a submission for the Magician's Skull, and I started working on it, and I got about 8,000 words in, and I realized. It's my idea is I can't cram it down into a word count that will actually work for the format. You know what I mean? So it's like I abandoned ship on what I thought was going to be like the you know what I mean? Like, oh, here's my final Swords and Sorcery idea, and I just had to put it down. So I haven't looked at that manuscript in a long time. But it's I don't know. I might do something with it at some point, but I really had it earmarked for that. But it's just too verbose. It's you know what it is? It's premise overload. I had this much premise, and I should have had this much premise and this much character stuff, and I just went nuts with world building and background stuff. So
Oh, sweet! It'll be a trilogy.
Yeah.
All right, so here you go. So Jess is asking, when you get ready to run an adventure, what do you draw on? Music, books, TV shows, movies, etc. What works for you? That
is a great question. As far as like design stuff, I try to draw from everything except for other published adventures. It's the one thing I try not to do is I try not to look for inspiration in other RPG stuff. I definitely look into music. I definitely go with movie and whatever ideas. I actually have one of the rooms in the X-Crawl adventure I'm running now is completely the idea completely came from an episode of Community, this TV show that I like. And I've had a lot of fun, doing that one. But I really try unconsciously, like when I read other role-playing game adventure stuff, I really try specifically and say like, all right, this is something that I'm not gonna do. You know what I mean? It's like I try to like not draw from that. I'd rather draw from art and music and literature and things, and bring that to the table. So that is what I just try, and so everything other than other role-playing game stuff, and I try to leave that pristine in my brain. So.
Right on. Cool.
How about yourself? Well, same question to you, bro.
I have just, it was this most recent project, the Dying Earth adventure, that made me realize that I am driven almost solely by visual art. I've been struggling so hard to write a Dying Earth adventure. Like I've been reading and rereading Vance, and I have all the stories, and I've been taking notes and flagging pages, and I've just been losing my mind, right? Because I don't have any solid like visuals to like lay on it. If it was, So anyway, so I've been just like scouring the world for the art of the Dying Earth. Like this is like, it's such a property, right? Like somebody must have done like a 60 plate set, illustrating, their ideas of the various things advanced. It does not exist, and I've been slowly losing my mind. So what I've instead been doing is I've been on a hunt for old heavy metal magazine.
Nice. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right, so Mabius. Like if I could just collect enough Mabius images, that'll feel a lot like Arok, right, or whatever. Like if I get enough of those, that'll be weird enough and just off enough that, and it's been working. So I have this whole collection of images that I'm all stolen from French artists that I'm going to be using for my Dying Earth adventure.
I love that, man. I absolutely.
But I was losing my mind. So if I've been scouring it, but if anybody knows an Art of Dying Earth book somewhere, I will buy it. But I don't know if it exists.
Send Harley your Dying Earth images, photos, and ideas for books to look at. Harley needs them.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah, I need the same thing, but I need calendars of different species of animals that have become best friends. Uh, cats and zebras, wombats and capybaras, whatever you have. I just want to see best friend animal pairs that you don't typically see. That's my thing I'm looking for.
Nice.
So that's awesome. So I got a question. Your question: how closely related are the origins of the Kith of the Purple Planet and the more eldritch Kith in Aerith?
Ooh,
that's interesting.
Yeah, that's oh gosh, which adventure was that? You were just running it. You were just running it. I played in the first session of it. Is it the time travel one?
Yeah. It just flew out of my head.
Curse of the Kingspire.
Kingspire. Yeah. Yeah, blew out of my head.
No. They are related. However, in Harley's, well, this actually leads back to the Purple Planet compendium, whatever. There's they are related, but there are millennium in between. So there's an age in the Purple Planet, right, where all the Kith are upright and beautiful, and they're just beginning their devolution into what we encounter on the traditional Purple Planet box set. And so I'm super excited to write. There's going to be a not necessarily a time travel adventure, but an opportunity to visit the Purple Planet at the height of its ascendancy. When everything's cultured and brilliant and bright and polished and clean and new, just because the players and the PCs know how far it goes down the far side. So the PCs rather are taking place in this tragic collapse of civilization at its apex, which anyways. And so Curse of the Kingspire is on one end, Purple Planet is on the other. In here in the middle, hopefully included in the Purple Planet compendium is the apex, but there's a lot of time in between. So definitely intentional, but definitely a lot of part.
Outstanding, dude. That's so cool. That's awesome. And yeah, I just ran Curse of the Kingspire. Well, just a month and a half ago or so, we finished it up. Curse of the Kingspire on Blades Against Bandwidth, and that was one I had never read and I had never run before, and that's a thrilling adventure. It's super fun, and it's got the I don't want to spoil it, but I recommend that one very highly. I think because of the way it's written, it can kind of fit into any campaign. It can kind of go backwards and forwards in time. So check that one out if you have not checked it out yet. It's awesome.
Okay, so we missed one by Judge Christian asking which artist is easiest to work with. Which of your parents do you like best?
Right. Right. Okay, I'll say this. As far as easiest, okay, for a slacker like me, it's Matt Hildebrand, who is the background, who does the graphics and layouts and such. I can't even tell you how many times I've called Matt on Wednesday and been like, "Hey Matt, I need a background layout thing for game therapy tomorrow. Can you make it for me? Oh, I need a version with 5 players or 4 players just in case, please." And he has it in my inbox by 11 p.m. that same night. So I mean, as far as
or if you misspelled Cthulhu in the last page 6, the Goodman Games Gazette, and the day that you're going to print, we're asking him to copy edit the layout. Yeah.
Matt I'm certain that there are 3 Matt clones that all work together closely. That's the only reason he can get stuff done as quickly as he can. So as far as that's not, I'm not my favorite, but as far as easiest for a slacker like me who very often needs things at the exact last minute, Matt's in the house. Thank you, Matt. Matt Hildebrand, if you're watching this, my love, dude. Thank you so much. And I'm already sorry about this Thursday's thing that I need for game therapy, because I haven't emailed you, and I'm taking tomorrow off, so you're getting that on Tuesday. So, no, I'm playing. I'll send you something. I swear to God.
All
right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see. I got one for you. There's Matt's in the house. What's up, Matt? That's so cool. He's actually watching. Brad, well, see, easiest to work with. Brad's amazing. Brad is just Brad's already done the art for the next 5 things that I haven't thought of yet. That's how Brad works. Brad's right now drawing something that I haven't thought about. I don't work with Brad. Brad works with me when he chooses to. It's a whole different relationship. Brad McDevitt is we're all just like orbiting Planet Brad as he does stuff.
Right.
I'm just, you know what I'm saying? So that's not even the same thing. That's why you can't ask questions like that. All right, here comes one from Jess. Jess, this one's for you. Jess says, oh no, we already pulled that one. Hey, bacon dressing. What's up? More messages below.
Okay, so here's one for me. All right, so this is actually really this is interesting to me. Everyone else might be bored, but this is my chance to ask you anything. Your background, what the hell is going on there? There's fighting the Taker, the T-Rex, and I see Soap Mountain.
Yeah. So I have been running a Dinosaur Planet, DCC Dinosaur Planet adventure, based on the Dinosaur Planet rules that Mark Bruner came up with, and that were in the 2017 Gen Con annual.
Oh yeah. Mark wrote that.
Yeah, exactly. So I wrote an adventure for that, and I've been running that around like at conventions. And this is actually a piece of I love character sheet art that a guy did during the game. Okay, so this actually tells a story here. So so I've got dinosaurs versus people who would enslave dinosaurs is the key fight there. There were indeed two ships, and the fight had to be. In this particular one, as I recall, the dinosaurs actually took over one of those ships and flew it back to the Confederate homeworld, and just when.
How did they do that with their little arms?
These are velociraptors. They're motivated, So he did this during the game, and Soap Mountain was one of the locations. There are two tribes of velociraptors. The players are the Mirror Lake tribe, and their nearest neighbors that they have to reach out to. They have to actually go through the territory of the Soap Mountain velociraptors in order to get to where they have to go. So Soap Mountain is like Soap Mountain is like where the slack velociraptors live, as it turns out. Soap Mountain is like easy living up on Soap Mountain. So, and there you go. And I had a lot of fun running that, and I really want to every time I run that adventure, I have new questions from Mark, because I feel like the reimagined setting kind of belongs to Mark. I feel like Mark's really got his thing, and so I'm like, well, can T-Rexes talk? Do they have names? And can they do this? And are we, what's the war like? Are we talking about a Cold War or a hot war versus the two human factions here? So I got a million questions for him. So
okay, hold on. Yeah, Judge Christian asks, how has quarantine affected our workflow, productivity, new methods, etc.?
Adversely. Yeah.
Why?
Because a lot of things. I'm trying to think of the quick light version for this existential question. But the quick light version would be that I am someone that gets recharged from being around people. And while this is nice to be here with all y'all on video chat, it's hard for me to not have that other thing. Also, another big part of my process is just going with my notebook and sitting in a coffee shop and just letting myself space out and work all day with no distractions. And this is messed up, but hubbub is really good for me. I really do well. I write really well on airplanes and in hotel lobbies. I get a lot of work done if I need to. And alone with my thoughts, sometimes it's too much. And sometimes having that thing. So it hasn't been great for me, but it has gotten better. It started off, the beginning of quarantine, it was like I ran into a wall, and I just had a hard time getting new stuff done. And then something changed. So now I work twice as hard to get half the result, but I'm enjoying doing it, and it's my lifeline to my creative life. So how about you, Harley? I'm done talking about me. How has quarantine affected you creatively?
I was slow before, I'm slow now. My process is, so I have kids in the house, and so as they grow older, my habits need to change. So it used to be that I put all the kids, we'd have dinner, bath, put the kids to bed, and then I'd write after that. But now it's flipping to I get up at 4:20 in the morning, go take Rusty for a run, come back, and then I'll write until everybody wakes up. But yeah, I miss being able to hug people, being able to see all the gamers at the cons. There's so this is such a social activity. It's really remarkable how people have adjusted and have kept it alive. And I'm just dumbfounded every day just to see what people are doing in spite of quarantine and because of their love of the game. It's
No, agreed. Yeah. I'll tell you, the gaming part has been amazing. I'm gaming. I'm running like 3 nights a week. I'm playing in 2. I'm having so much gaming going on. That's fantastic. It's the other part that's hard. The actual sitting there and doing the. Well, I would say it started off hard. It's gotten easier and easier for me. I've just adjusted. I think we've all adjusted to it to some degree. So it started off bad, but now it is doing better.
So Jess is asking, what's your favorite thing you've gotten to do at any convention?
At RinCon. RinCon, which is in Arizona. RinCon does a charity improv game every year that they let me GM. So I will run this charity improv game, and we raise money. I believe it's for one of their local food banks there, although it kind of fallen out of my head. But essentially, the people in the audience can throw out ideas or change the story by making a pledge to this charity and such. So I run it, and I almost always have like a whole row of other designers, artists, and creative types and such. And oh my God, I come out of there feeling like, you know what I mean? Like it's like all worth it. You know what I mean? Like it's my love of sort of like the performance side of role-playing games, along with working for a charitable cause, and working with great people and just having a laugh gaming. That is my favorite thing, and I would do that every year if I got the chance.
Nice.
How about yourself? What's your favorite thing you got a chance to do at a convention?
Yeah, that's hard, man. I think there's a lot of really cool experiences, right? Like getting to meet Mike Pondsmith and thank you for all the inspiration he's given me. Getting to run the very first like 0 level funnel and seeing like a line out the door of like 50 people waiting to like bring their 0 level character in and like play for 30 seconds and die. But I think consistently one of my favorite. Oh, actually, you know this because it's the same as Ren Fair. It's the same as Ren Fair. It's that liminal moment just before everything goes live, and then the same liminal moment just after all the audience has been ushered outside the gate and everything's winding down. So I love Gen Con most when it's that empty, warehouse of a dead space, and we have all this magic that we're gonna, over the course of like a really hard, sweaty 24 hours, we're gonna transform this into something amazing.
Yeah.
And it's that before and that after moment that are my favorite. And so before it's the creation, the assembly of the doom gong and playing out all the books and and making sure it all looks nice enough for Joseph's and blah blah blah. And then afterwards breaking all that down and then going out to dinner with the crew. Just like Ren Fair, like it's that before and after moment that are my favorites.
No, I totally agree. I remember us last time we did it, the last live Gen Con we did, all of us there afterwards, like shell shocked. I remember like having a beer in front of me, and then someone wakes me up and like it's still there, but now it's warm. Like I just felt it in the booth, like So. Yeah, that was a good. Yeah, it is. It's so cool to see it all kind of like happen and take place. And did you know that I have a Gen Con convention minigame that I play myself?
Tell us about your rules. What's this game?
I will. The minigame is, can Brendan get the tractor guy come and get our overhead hanging some banner off first?
Holler.
Yeah.
Holler. Yeah.
Very early on, Joseph was like, we had to get this banner down, otherwise we're going to be waiting for 10,000. I don't remember what the specific reason was, but he's like, go talk to him. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went over there and I was like, hey, buddy, could you just get our thing next? I don't even remember what I said, but he's like, oh, yeah, sure. And he sort of like stopped what he was doing, drove his giant big cherry picker over and got our thing down first. And like now, Joe asks me every year to do that, and I'm always like, so I'm always sort of like trying to up my cherry picker guy game down and such.
Well,
and
you have this cool mojo with all those guys. Like you're tight. You're like, oh, we need what are those wheelie cart things?
The two-wheelers.
Yeah, like, and you bring your own like tape dispenser thing, and like, I mean, you're down with the crew. Like you should be paying union dues. Like
I'll tell you what, I respect the hell out of those guys, and I'm
Yeah.
super glad that they do what they do for us. And I'm I mean, if you think about it, this is the thing. Like, they're just as important as us as far as putting on a really good show. You know what I'm saying? If the teamsters, the breakdown guys, the bring-in guys, the guys that are setting up, if they don't do what they're doing, then we can't do what we do. You know what I mean? So I consider them part of the bigger crew. So I try to get to know them as much as I can. And then I'm just like, hey guys, can you help us out with this and do whatever and touch.
Well, that's kind of one of the cool things about being a smaller group is that we all like love and respect those guys. Like, carpet guy, right? Like, we don't lay stuff on the carpet. Don't lay shit on the carpet.
No. Gotta work with carpet. Carpet guy's got a key job.
And we're cool with that. We're not gonna have we don't have custom crates where we're gonna be putting things in at parking.
Yeah, totally.
That's my favorite part.
All right. So let me see. Okay. Big Pun 9 says, Harley, have you thought about putting a skateboard into a module?
I have not. Those are two parts of my world that are very, very disparate. Because what I love about skating is the feeling of just like getting. I mean, it'll make sense to you if you've done it, but like you kind of come back from a good session and it's almost as if your body is broken in, right? Like your joints are looser. You have a little bit of pain, but you're present. Like that's like it's almost like you're more. Your body has been forced to interact with the world in such ways that precisely. My body ends here right now. I found that out the hard way, and so that's my skating and then my writing are two totally different things. I find that when I try to daydream when I skate is inevitably when I'm gonna wipe. I find myself catching myself like, dude, you're not present, and then conversely, I don't know. So I guess the answer, Big Pun, is that it's never occurred to me, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's an X-Crawl adventure in there somewhere.
In X-Crawl, I have used bicycles. I've used roller skates a bunch of times. In fact, I've used them so many times that I actually put roller skeletons into the monster book for the new because they come up so often. You know what I mean? And I love the idea that they're really good. It's like I give them like a really high check. Like these skeletons, they're not just goofing around. Like they're good as hell roller skeletons. Like trained from unbirth. Is that a thing? That's a thing. And so. I love having them in there. They got like a D24. They're like just I want them to be like Chachi in that one movie. You know what I mean? Like rolling under stuff and going under. I don't know. So I have done it, but there you go. So some point maybe I don't know. Maybe a skateboard patron. Dude. Patron shows up on a skateboard like, what's up, y'all? Pulling an ollie. All right, I got one for you. Tim L. White asks, what has been your most memorable shutdown of a problem player?
And so I saw that question, and I saw that question. I don't have a memorable shutdown because I have memorable moments that haunt me to this day of times that I didn't shut down the problem player, and I need to own that. And I am. I don't know. We could ascribe it to a lot of things. Maybe I'm too trusting of people. Maybe I'm too slow in the moment. Maybe I have a spine made out of wet cardboard. But those moments come, and it's like, what did that just happen? And I'm sitting there, and that happened. And Harley, you didn't step up into the moment. So I don't have memorable moments when I managed to shut somebody down because I'm not. But there was an online game once that I was writing with, and somebody made an untoward comment, and I was keyboard where I was like kasha, like, and sent it all to the wrong person. And so now I'm typing apologies and trying to follow, I'm not good at this. So everybody be cool. How about yourself?
I haven't had to do it as many times as you would have think, but as far as memorable, I flipped out on a dice cheat once. It's my one thing I can't.
Okay, come on.
No, I can't be cool about it. I absolutely can't. I had a guy at my table rocking all night, and at some point I realized that this young man has a six-sided die with all fives on every side, and I just catch it, and I pick it up, and I'm like, what the hell is this? He's like, oh man, I didn't realize that was in there. I'm like, you have been doing that in there. I have been, you know what? That is not. And I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, all right, you better calm down because people at other tables are taking notice. This is at Origins. We were in one of those downstairs Origins rooms.
Was it a game where the D6 mattered? I mean,
man, he had a short sword. He was killing stuff with that short sword. He was another 5 points of damage every dang round. This is Pathfinder. That's 6-sided man. I lost my crap on him. So that was memorable because, like, he went from being like, to being like, this guy is a psycho. And like this. It's the one thing I really try not to. You know what I mean? And let's dice cheats, man. I just got a problem with it. I have a real like core. That's an alignment issue, right? I'm docking him like IRL alignment points off that one. So that was the most memorable because I remember specifically going, "You cannot do that in a professional setting. You can't. you will lose. What about your cinchy job? You can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I had to finally I had to be like, all right, man, I'm sorry, but just don't be dice. Don't be cheating on dice. So that really threw a bucket of ice water on the last 45 minutes of our game, but there you go. So yeah, not happy about that. All right, so I'm gonna take a look here. I got questions. Well, I will say, Jess says that your issue is at Harley, you want to include everyone, and you want everyone to have a good time. And I
wish that were the case. I'm just not. There's a French word for like what is it, like the lightning of the stairs, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like when you have an argument and you walk away and you're leaving the party, you're going down the stairs back to Rue Paris, and that's when you're like, oh, hey, that's what I should have said. But I'm perennially affected. I mean, I am not mentally swift when it comes to interpersonal communication. Yes. Plus or no. What other things have you thought about differently as a pro GM? So Tim, you're asking that. I mean, are you talking about like being part of? Yeah, let's take it that way. Being part of Goodman Games, a representative of Goodman Games. How do you have to behave differently and run a game?
Well, don't yell at people over dice things. That's clearly come up. I would say that, not when I'm designing stuff, but when I'm at the table, I always consider myself kind of I definitely adjust the way I play to the kind of crowd that I have. Sometimes you got people who are hardcore players, and then I'm hardcore with them and such. But a lot of times you have people who are brand new to it and such, and I just have to sort of like, you have to realize I want them to love this game as much as I do. I love DCC. To this day, I still love DCC. I'm a gamer down to my socks, and like DCC is my all-time favorite system still. And I really try to. I want to instill that in people. So like when I get someone at the table who's new or a youngster, I find myself really changing to fill that space. Then you know what I mean? Saying like being like, well, let's talk about what your character can do, and to try to make it easy and fun for them, and try to be both teaching, but at the same time make it where they're still playing a game, they're having fun. So I think it's reacting differently to different players and different player types because you really want people to fall in love with the game that you're in love with. That's a big part of it for me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to communicate that, and sometimes the best way to do it is to slow down and turn down the and be like, well, here's the thing. Your character has this special ability, or you can try this with your spell. You know what I'm saying? And I love like seeing someone kind of like ramp their game up in the course of a session, which I've seen a lot of times. I love that. And so having a different aspect, a different sort of like to present depending on your different players is a thing that you learn when you're doing it as a representative of Goodman Games.
Just at Bride, I was a related story, but not quite the same. I was running the game. I was running the battle royale tournament, and we had this kid. I don't know how young he was because I was so focused. I could hear in his voice that he was younger. 13, 14. Gavin, I apologize if you're like 22, but anyhow, so he was so we're playing and these leviathans are coming up out of the water, and at one point Gavin's like, so what happens if a leviathan rolls a fumble? And it was I leaned into my inner Brendan. I'm like, I don't know, Gavin, why don't you think about it and tell me? And so, of course, I continue playing. Hell, I'm including this kid. The next thing I do is a fumble with my Leviathan attack. So I'm like, Gavin, what happens? He's like, it flips over one of the slave boats. I'm like, sweet, Gavin, you win. Like, it's one of those moments where, like, you offer the baton, and you never know in a game. Like, sometimes it freaks the players out, or I don't know, they feel uncomfortable, and they're like,
it frees up.
Moments where it's like, tick, boom, go, and then it flips the boat over, and it was like, oh, Gavin, you rule, you're amazing.
That's so funny. You know what? Can I request a story? The Sea-Bro story from that same game.
Oh my God! Right. This is so cool. All right. So really quickly, the short version is, pre-pandemic, I would run a physical game for kids in the library, and kids meaning like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. Sometimes even younger. They would show up and they would play DCC, and I was running them through Sailors on the Starless Sea. And at the point where they're underground, they can see the ziggurat on the far side of the Starless Sea, but in between them and the ziggurat is this Starless Sea with a horrible Leviathan, and you can't kill it. And so you board the dragon boat, you start to sail away, and the Leviathan comes up out of the water. Now the cool thing about playing with these kids is that they haven't been playing for 20 years or 10 years or 5 years, so they have literally no concept on how an RPG should be played, which frees them up to do anything, right? Which is what we aim for. And so so one of my players, Max, he's like, I want to talk to it. I'm like, Max, you can't talk to the Leviathan. And that's sweet and all, but you can't talk to it. He looks at his character sheet, and he's like, yes, I'm a fisherman. I know the song of the sea. I'm like, okay, Max, why don't you give me a luck check there, mister? And he goes, boom. And sure enough, Max knows the song of the sea because, right, he rolled underneath his luck. I'm like, all right, Max, well, this is Leviathan. It's supposed to be scary. You have to stick your head in the wine dark seas underwater and blah, 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 like talk to the Leviathan. He's like, not a problem. And so I'm like, okay, but last thing, Max, the Leviathans, they're not known for their eloquent conversation, right? You take this sheet of paper, little Mr. 5th grader, and you walk, who's destroying my adventure, you walk over there and you write out what you're going to command the Leviathan to do. But you can only use single syllable words, and your friends can't help you, and you go there and you come back. And so Max, one of the most brilliant people I've played with. He's really good. He was the one who's like, why is luck check under and all the other rolls over? It's like, don't ask, Max. Just play the game. Anyhow, he comes back with this, and he's like, we gave you food, attack green things. He's eloquent, far more eloquent than I could be. In these single syllable words. So the character sticks his head underwater. He speaks these things to the Leviathan. I'm like, all right, Max, I love this, but the Leviathan's going to attack you while you have your head underneath there. And the Leviathan misses all its attacks. And Max's character speaks to it, commands the Leviathan. Next thing I know, brilliant Max, the Leviathan is crawling its way up the ziggurat, eating beef left and right, throwing them in the air, and dismembering them all. Yeah. And this little 5th grader, bless his, he's probably like in 7th grade now, but just awesome. Just like took the adventure, dealt with it as a real entity in his mind. And solved it in ways that I had never anticipated. Yeah, and he started off the song of the sea with "Hey, sea bro," which I love so much. Hey, sea bro, we cool, right? I love that so much. It hurts. It makes me ache. You could see him thinking of one syllable words. Hey, sea bro, so good, man, so good. Wait, do you have it? Well, because we're giving it away at the raffle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, come on, Harley. Everyone's bored out of their skulls.
They're not bored. I'll tell a story while you're doing it. So once upon a time,
wait, I found it.
3 prints. Oh, thank God, I had nothing.
Okay, that's the sheet of paper that says that Max wrote, saying, Hey, Sebro, we fed you, gave you food. What did you write? Hey, Sebro, will you kill mean green things? We gave you food. And Max wins. Max wins DCC. The rest of us can go home.
I know. I love that so much. It's just like I said. It's like a. That's just just so much love for that. Okay, your turn. Go ahead and grab one.
Oh, let's see. Okay, all right. Brendan,
Yes.
what would be your dream project to convert to the DCC system? Well, if you can't say X-Crawl.
Okay, not that X-Crawl. Yeah. My dream. So in other words, like taking an extant FRPG
Yeah,
project.
existing IP that you're gonna make DCC.
Oh, across the board IP. Oh, Discworld. I would love to do Discworld. Terry Pratchett's Discworld novels, Guards, and the Wish novels, and Hatful of Sky. I mean, the Terry Pratchett is my my favorite fantasy author that of the modern era. And I would love. Discworld has a lot in common with X-Crawl. That it's a lot of parody. You know what I mean? It's there's a lot. He lovingly goofs on all of the tropes of fantasy literature and novels, at the same time creating these really memorable characters that you really care about, and just so many jokes, just chock-a-block with jokes. It was so fun. I would love to write a book, like a core book in that tradition, and basically try to make the book super funny too, like make it a funny read that leads to a funny game. And there's a GURPS version of Discworld that does a nice job with it, but it's 30 years old or something at this point, and 20 years old. It's very old. I don't know.
So you'd like to write a book with like lots of puns and funny. So you've worked your way back around to X-Crawl again.
Yeah, I guess. But that's that's my inner rhythm. You know what I'm saying? If my dream project would go along with that inner rhythm, and it would be funny. I try to, I let myself goof around in my manuscripts. I figure games are fun. I'm trying to have fun. I want the readers to have fun. So I don't feel like I have to be serious all the time. And God bless Joseph and God bless Pandahead back in the day. They let me be silly. They let the narrative voice of X-Crawl sometimes be like yada yada hoo,
So is there like an epic, well not epic, like in your heart of hearts before you leave this mortal coil, what do you want? What's the amazing project you would want to add to the X-Crawl like thing, existence that we could remember it by, be like, oh, this is what Brendan was, and maybe it's like, well, I get 50 of my friends and they all read, like what's for X-Crawl Live, whatever happened to the LARP, man?
It was the LARP version didn't work out. I mean, it was as it turns out, it's a lot more challenging to put. You can hit them in the head with a padded sword, just don't hurt them into words that people are going to actually walk away with and keep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess. Okay, you know what I would love if I could get this. I would love to reach out and get some of my favorite fantasy RPG, game designers and game writers to write something in the X-Crawl universe. That would be it. I would love to see some of the big guys. Oh, I don't know, Harley, who I think of. Just some people read a big villain. But I would love that. I would love to see I'd love to think that it would not just be a Brendan thing. I would love to think that X-Crawl becomes a thing that people do and embrace. I realize it's its own weird thing that it's certainly a I always say that X-Crawl is the black licorice of role-playing games. Like, not everybody likes it, but the people who like it are really into it. You know what I'm saying? Although less so now.
Yeah. Have they followed you over the various editions? Like, do you have players that fell in love with Pandahead X-Crawl and they're still here at X-Crawl XTC?
A couple. I have some. Yeah, not a 1,000 of them, but there are a few. They all have my email address. They all write me and ask when the Kickstarter is going to be every couple of weeks. And God bless them. As soon as I know, I swear to God, I'll tell everybody. But I feel like that's. I would like for it to live beyond me. I would like for it to see it have a life beyond what I do, and I'd love to see other people's perspective on it. So there you go.
Hold on, Christian has a great question. Do you know when the Kickstarter is going to be?
No, I do not.
Roughly.
No, yeah, roughly. I mean,
quarter.
Yeah, next year. I'm hoping that the Kickstarter will be around like, I don't know, roughly. Okay, my goal would be, because it's written. Although I'm gonna make some corrections after this weekend because I saw some doozies. I mean, I would love to see it. I mean, I'm backed up behind a couple of other Kickstarters is the issue. You know what I'm saying? So like, there are elements that are beyond my control, like projects that I got nothing to do with that I have to literally, leave the warehouse and go to Happy Homes before I get to be on the docket. So that's what I'm up against. But I would love to say summer next time, and like by this time next year, PDF. That'd be my goal. Yeah. I'd love to see the PDF done and out to people by this time next year. Yeah. And then
can we just take a breath and be like, it is ridiculous that you and I have the privilege of writing fake stuff during a pandemic when like people are dying and people are losing jobs. Like, it's remarkable to me that we're receiving the support of. I mean, I don't know. I think the dedication of the fan base under these circumstances is ridiculous.
100%, yeah. I think it speaks to the importance of stories and games in our lives. You know what I'm saying? I think that it really speaks to how meaningful a really good story and a really good game can be to any individual person. But I mean, it's amazing. When this all kicked off, I thought, well, I'm out of a job. I thought it was over. You know what I mean?
Right.
I really did. I really thought, that's it. It's a done deal. It's been a good ride. I literally had that. Like, I went for a walk early on, and I was like, it was actually they canceled GaryCon.
Yeah.
And right after it, I got notification that another early year convention.
North Texas?
Yeah, it was like back to back. I found that out, and I was like, yeah, what happens? What are they going to do with us? And I was like, whatever. And let's give it up. The greatest leader of this, other than that lady in New Zealand who clearly is kicking butt.
Oh my God, Jacinda. Is she single?
Jacinda, yeah. But Joseph Goodman, he saw the writing on the wall a million miles away. Changed course, changed everything, keeps it changing. I mean, it's Joseph saved me. He saved me, absolutely saved me. He's the reason that we're all still doing this. He responded brilliantly to all of this, and kept me on the payroll, and kept us doing what we're doing. And I mean, I will be eternally grateful for that because I will never get rich in the traditional sense by doing this, but I feel like I have an absolutely amazing life because of what I'm able to do for the people I'm able to do it for, the fans and the work, and it's ongoing. It has not stopped yet because Joseph saw ahead and said, well, this is what we're going to do, and now we're doing it, and it's like, it absolutely, I mean, saved my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, I need more gaming questions because I'm starting to get all verklempt. I know. Yes, Big Bald Matt says Joseph is 100% badass. He's 1,000% badass. Says Brad. Brad's correct. So yeah, and Jess says understand exactly what you're saying. Gives us all a chance to get out of the real world. Yeah, 100%.
Tim White is totally on the money. That's a great idea, Tim. I didn't read the first phrase of your sentence. Can we have a contest to come up with a new opening paragraph for DCC Adventures? That is brilliant.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
That's a really good idea. So, you know what? I keep changing mine.
Like subtly or like?
Check out the horror adventure one. Not so subtly. I figure it goes through editing. I figure if it was not cool, someone would have said something to me.
Right. There's silence is complicity.
Thank you. Exactly. Silence equals content. Yeah, they're content. So, but yeah, I think a paragraph contest is a great idea. That is so fun.
Yeah. Because it doesn't apply anymore. Tim's 100% right.
Yeah. Note to himself: send Joseph idea for a contest. It was Tim's, but claim it was mine. Yes. Do not give Tim any credit. Tee hee hee. Oh wait, could y'all hear that? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Tim. My phone can't do that. No, but Tim, that's a great idea, and I love that. A new opening paragraph contest. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
I let a lot of NPCs live. I don't know about you, but, you know.
Well, yeah, no, he's 100% right.
Oh, are we still on?
All right. Okay, speed round. We got 6 minutes left.
I can't hear you. Harley, I can't hear you.
Oh, that's probably for the best. Let me refresh my screen.
If you guys are watching from home, can you guys still hear us? Uncle Brendan, can you? Harley, I can't hear you at all, bro. Can you guys still hear? Okay, they can hear us both back home. I can't hear you.
Well, this is my chance to say everything.
Oh. Yikes. I literally can't hear you, Harley. I'm so sorry, man. I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
Your default speaker. Can you hear? I can't hear you at all, Harley. Oh my! We have 5 minutes left, and I can't hear a damn thing you're saying.
Go on without me.
Now we lost Harley. Now he is lost. Anyone know any ASI? Not enough to do an AMA with. Harley, there's something wrong with your audio, I think. They're not hearing us. Harley says, go on without me. Now we can hear him. Now they can hear you, but I still can't hear you. So I guess if they can hear you, Harley, say this. I'm going to ask a question that you can answer. I won't hear the answer, but Judge Christian says, Uncle Brendan, can you convince other authors to include crit info on stat blocks? I'm just going to keep doing it. Same thing. I'm just going to keep doing it. I just started, so Harley, I can't hear you, but I have started just including crit info and stat blocks. There's no reason not to have it there, and I've just been including it, and, you know, Mike's caught on, now Mike's doing it too, so, hey Harley, I think you should include crit checks, the crit info for your monsters in the monster stat blocks.
I think it's a great idea. I think we should also, let's see, here's what we do. Harley is talking. All right. We should
Harley
also
writing
do
his answer down for me.
Okay, no. This is how you know we're proceeding. It says Harley is talking. So you should no, yes, and we should probably all the really cool monsters should all have their own crit tables. Yeah, that's what I think. Okay, hold on.
Oh, Harley.
Where did you get your cool shirt?
I don't know what. Where did you get your cool shirt? Oh, my Bronx Beast shirt? What?
Oh, nice!
Bronx Beast. This is actually Dan Stevie's sort of like Teenage Mutant Ninja and Turtle inspired DCC version, and he gave me this because he likes me and he's my boy, and he gave it to me directly. So there you go. So we have and I recommend everyone, if you haven't tried Bronx Beast yet, you should try that out. You can get it from the Goodman Games website, and it's awesome.
Cool.
So you can hear me, Harley. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, Harley can hear me. Okay, so, well, we're down to 2 minutes, so let's just go ahead. You know, there's no getting the audio back for the last 2 minutes, so let's just stop here and say thank you all for tuning in to our AMA. We really appreciate having you. Harley appreciates having you, and I appreciate it, and it was so fun. Harley, this was actually like one of the highlights of my convention. I love, you know what I'm saying, like it's always like, oh, we gotta do an AMA, and then we're hanging out. It's just us hanging out with other people throwing out questions. So I'm super grateful for the opportunity to hang out, and thank you guys all for tuning in, and we will go ahead and stop here in a minute. We're going to stop streaming now, but again, thanks, and have a great rest of your convention, and I hope to see all y'all around the thing, and you know,
closing ceremony.
And if you can hear Harley, you know, do what he says, he knows best. So Harley, hashtag Harley knows best. Hashtag Harley Headcanon.
Awesome. Good night, guys.
Right, and I'm going to 3, 2.